I'm about to show you two clips. The first one will be about a good cyclist, and the second one will be about a bunch of stuck-up cyclists who think the road belongs to them. Roll the clips. So we see him approaching here. Almost clips the cyclist.
Too close, mate. You passed me way too close. Mate, how fucking big is that bicycle? Do you
Starts to get aggressive here, threatening that we should have hit him.
If you'd have actually had the decency to go over one side instead of taking the whole fucking road. Into the door zone? Into the door zone? Are you a fucking tank? No. Are you a car?
This continues for a while until the man decides to physically attack him, try taking his camera, trying to hurt him. This continues on until the man decides to get out of his car and chase him down, and then this happens. There he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Ooh!
They're just your modern day cyclists, which is why they're hated.
I won't drag the second clip on, but it basically showcases some really bad cycling. In my opinion, it is people like this that give like normal cyclists a bad rep, and I think that's where the stigma comes from.
Disgraceful, and they wonder why people don't like them.
Picture this, you're the good cyclist. You cycle to work about 5 days a week, going to your regular job, and most days you're almost clipped off your bike by a car driver just trying to get ahead of you. Don't get me wrong, overtaking is fine. Who'd want to be stuck behind a car all day? But you gotta do it safely. Me personally, I've experienced too many dangerous situations on my bike to count. So many that I decided to make a whole documentary about it. Cars don't give a fuck about bikes. Been a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. So the main bus line where I live is First Bus. I don't know if you've had experience with First Buses, but they're not very reliable. Some days you'll be absolutely fine busing it in and out of the city, in and out to different areas. And some days you wish you were dead. For example, there was a time where I went out with a buddy of mine, went out in the evening time, probably out for a couple of hours, tried to get a bus around 8 o'clock, and this is a regular service that comes every 10-20 minutes, and I think we were there for a total of an hour. I mean, this is a main city line bus route, not like some one-off bus that goes to the middle of nowhere. And that was it. We were stood in the cold for an hour waiting for a bus, finally got on and went home, and it took us all total about an hour and 20 minutes. There was even a time recently when I was with my buddy Sam, and we sat at the bus stop waiting for the bus. 10 minutes, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it disappeared. It's gone. How long ago did our bus say due?
About 5 minutes ago.
And where is it?
It's over there. Smoking his LMB blues.
We could literally see the bus parked up, not going anywhere, so we decided to walk up to it. We are actively
pursuing the
walking
bus.
to the bus. That's sat out the road, not going anywhere. Not working.
Alright guys.
They're not working.
No, I just had a little problem. I've been told I can carry on, so
okay.
We're all good. Yeah. You might as well jump on here.
Is that alright?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, pal. This is normally the case most times when trying to get a bus. It either just doesn't show up, disappears, goes into the void. First buses have been so bad, I even have a song on my playlist about how bad the services are.
I am waiting on the bus.
Really good, you should go check that out. Whilst I'm on my bike, I can get to A to B, the bike works, it's got air in the tyres, it's not rusted, I can just get to A to B and not have to worry about it. The only thing I have to worry about is cars on the road. I knew booking a driving test in Bristol was hard, so I wanted to interview someone with personal experience on that. So I decided to interview myself. Thank you for coming, Blake. Oh, no worries, mate. So, Blake, why don't you just drive? Well, it's not as simple as that. I've actually been doing driving lessons for 2 years. 2 years is a long time. Why haven't you booked a driving test? Well, I have tried, but they've actually all been booked up. And why is that, do you think? Well, first there was COVID, and then they closed the Brisbane and Southmead driving test centres. There was a large backlog of people waiting for a driving test in that area. It's a bigger problem than people think. I don't think anything is being done about it. I was only able to get a driving test, but with a thing called a cancellation app, which is a pay-for experience. You have to pay for that on top of your driving test. I still had to wait 6 months for that cancellation test, so it was just waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm still waiting for it, and nothing's being done about it, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. That sounds really hard. Yeah, it is. You might as well stick to the bike then. But what about the bad drivers? What about them? Cycling on the road is very hard. Cycling on the pavement isn't really an option. I mean, not only the fact that it's illegal, it just doesn't work. Like, you end up getting stuck behind people with headphones on, you end up almost hitting people. It's not even their fault. You cycle on tight pavements, and every time I turn a little corner, I think about it. Why are you coming fast, guy? I just think that's gonna be me. Cycling on the road is just a different beast altogether. Like, you constantly feel like you're gonna get hit or smacked. You're constantly disrespected. You constantly feel pretty rough, and you just feel like no one cares about you. It's actually depressing. Like, it really is. For the past couple of weeks, I've been cycling around with my camera strapped to my chest, trying to catch any incidents, accidents, anything that annoys me, anything that could put me in harm's way. Any problem with that is, anyone driving towards you face on can see a big camera strapped around your neck, so they play it safe. Which is a good thing, I guess, but I wasn't able to get very many good examples. And I only managed to film one true incident of a guy almost hitting me, coming up behind me. Others are just near misses. The last one though is a very close one. So we're going to sit and watch all the clips that I've gathered. I'm going to be reacting to them, and I'll walk you through everything. These guys here just didn't really care about me at all. I came to stop behind them, and they just acted like I wasn't there. That was a near miss, decided not to slow down. That was a very bad place to overtake. Nothing too bad yet though. This was a lot closer than it seemed. It's just a wide angle lens. Horrible place to overtake. Had to slow down to stop for his car. That happens all the time. This guy overtook where he couldn't see what was coming in a 20 mile an hour, and then decided to get stuck right at the end of the road. It's a clip of me on the pavement, you know, literally going on that corner thinking about the why you coming fast guy overtaking me here when he's going to go to a complete stop, and some men shouted at me from the pub. Always get a lot of people shouting at you just because you're riding a bike. I knew this guy was going to do this before he even did it. I just knew he was going to overtake me. We have a man shouting at me and beeping at me from the car. The stuff I managed to get on camera wasn't the most dangerous stuff in the world, but I did want to talk about two very real incidents that happened in my area that are real and were fatal and were pretty nasty. I'm not going to include their real names, but there was a little boy who got hit by a dangerous driver. He did survive. I think he spent a long time in intensive care, and the guy is going to be getting out of prison soon. He didn't get that long of a sentence. She is currently petitioning for bad drivers to have longer prison sentences and to not get out so easily and get let off so easily. But it's really sad. I do think it's a bigger problem than we are letting on, and I do think we should be doing stuff about it and spreading awareness and just not brushing it under the rug. Issue 2 is a bit more weird. A friend of mine was walking back from work, and the police had the road fully shut off, and he saw one end of a bike on one end and a man on the other end of the road, and he asked the officer what was going on, and he said the guy was hit off his bike and he is now dead. And when the news article came out, it was just car crash, nothing about a man on a bike. They had completely missed that out, not included him in it, and his death was not even realised, it was just forgotten about as soon as it happened. And I just think that's really sad. I really think we should be acknowledging this and spreading awareness of people getting hit and killed off bikes. People trying to get by, this is what you gotta remember. people want cycling for fun. Some people cycle because they can't afford a car, or they can't get a driving test. They're fed up of being late for work for the bus. They're trying to make money so they can buy a car. And a lot of people just forget this. They don't treat people who ride bikes like human beings. They treat them like scum, and they just don't think anything of them. They don't think, about the type of day that person's had, what type of life they've got, what type of financial situation they're in. They're just like, whatever. If I kill him, I kill him. It's not just motorists not liking cyclists. It's also dangerous driving as a whole. Bike or no bike, dangerous driving has become very bad. It's become sort of accepted. I even have a video of Ethan from the Sidemen. They're doing their fancy car race extravaganza, whatever they're doing, but the entire time they're driving through my area, my neck of the woods, they are speeding and they are driving very fast. It's cool and that, but it's just like, this is normal, this is okay. I know the speed limit of the areas they're driving through, and I can see how fast you're driving. You're going too fast. Like, there are kids' football grounds on that area. Just slow down. Just slow down. Speed when you're on a motorway. Speed when you're in a big, wide open road. Don't be speeding around these little places where I live, where people I know walk about. Just don't. At the end of the day, we need to just treat people with respect and you got to realise that the person you might be hitting or the person you might be pissing off is your friend, your neighbour, your family member, and you don't even know it because you just don't care. I'm going to be driving soon. I'm going to be driving a car soon, but I've done so many driving tests and I've done all this, and I know that you have to drive safely because you're in a murder machine. One wrong move and that's it, you've killed someone. You know what I mean? You need to drive safely. You don't need to drive like an old granny, but you do have to drive safely. You need to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be on a road. Also, I advise anyone who cycles to get a little action cam because they make you feel 100 times safer. It's great. There's been way less times when I've been angry. Barely have been angry at all because I've felt safer. People have acknowledged I've got a camera, they've been driving safely around me. It's really good. This has been my first documentary type video. I'd like to do more on these in the future. I guess let me know in the comments if there's any sort of ideas or topics you want me to cover. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Do all that if you want. Alright. See you later on. Peace.